Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is a reaction to the Expanse Season 4, Episode 3. We are a reasonable amount into the season now. Once again, I still don't know an episode title at the time of this recording, but what we do know is that this is the episode where things go kaboom, literally.
Yep.
And also, we have another reminder that Mercury is not a nice guy in the slightest.
Terrible human being.
No, we're learning a little bit more about him. We're learning a little bit more, at least personality-wise, about Lucy or Lucia, whatever we're supposed to call her at this point.
Yep.
And we're getting a good sense of the entirety of the system and beyond now. There is an election that is heating up when it comes to what's happening with Christians, so there's a lot to be excited about. But before we talk about anything, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates we've got coming up. Alright, so I think let's just start with a question for Holden.
Yes.
Why did you decide to break up with Miller now? Like, this really felt like he just sort of was just like, you know what? I'm going to go to some retreat where they teach me to just get over him. My love affair with Miller or Proto Miller is over.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching these two together. You guys know this. I love Miller. I love seeing them together, even Proto Miller and being a little bit different and still just having those fun little barbs between each other and all that. But the protomolecule is very smart. Obviously, they're using Miller as a way to get to Holden because it pulls a little bit with Holden's heart. They had a connection. They had, I guess we'll call it some sort of a friendship.
Yeah.
But at least a respect for each other. And I know that Holden is very interested, as we all are, as everyone there is, on what is going on with the protomolecule. How does it work? Why is it here? What is it looking for? All these sort of questions. So when Miller comes to him, I get why he wants to listen and he wants to stick his hand in and can complete the circuit. And now he's doing this and he's done something on this new planet where now whatever's going on with this artifact and the protomolecule, it has turned so bad. And finally, Holden is thinking that maybe it's not a great idea that I'm listening to Proto Miller. You think? You think this is not a good idea? I feel like this has never been a great idea.
I think it's always been good to have options, and I think it's possible the protomolecule isn't out to hurt humanity, but I think the thing is...
Yeah, but you don't know.
You don't.
And the idea that Miller's going to show up and ask Holden for a favor. Hey, can you move this route? We don't know what's going to happen, but just do it anyways. Oh, okay. And he's removing it. It's understandable why he's doing it, but it's also not understandable why he's doing it. He should have not done this. Obviously, he realized he made a mistake. It's time for him to break up with Miller, and this is where we are.
And we're in a really interesting spot now with Holden because it sort of felt like Holden was at least somewhat in lockstep with Miller at the end of last season, early on in season 4. And now he's in this sort of position where he's actively rebelling against sort of what he perceives to be the protomolecule's wishes. And that leads to kind of this fundamental crux of this episode. You know, we end up seeing Holden give the order to fire the torpedo and potentially harm this artifact, which I'm kind of confused about on a couple of different levels. I mean, for starters, this is working now, and seemingly in the past, anytime they've tried to throw a grenade and blow up anything protomolecule related, it has never really worked, and Holden has been there for some of those things.
Yeah, I agree. And he was even in the chamber when they tried to throw a grenade. I mean, a lot of stuff that they've thrown at the protomolecule, they've either disassembled it or absorbed it or is using it. So when that happened, I was a little bit surprised too, because he has seen some of the stuff that's happened. I would be afraid to give the protomolecule anything. No more resources. You are cut out. It just cannot happen anymore. But we're kind of in this new place with proto-molecule, we'll still call it that, but really it's these much older artifacts. I mean, they've been saying that these have been around billions of years, and that even in the first episode we saw sort of a swarm of, felt like locusts, the beginning of time sort of thing. So maybe this is just the beginnings of the proto-molecule. So maybe it's not as powerful yet.
Yeah.
It can't just absorb their missiles or anything else. It did actually seem to do something to stop it.
Yeah.
Slow it down. It came to a stop, so I don't know if that actually means it's done, but...
It did at least a little bit of something. It's just sort of like what that something is. I mean, maybe this is a situation where it's older technology. Maybe it's that, seeing these sort of artifacts on this planet is different than them being in space. Maybe they take on a different sort of form in space. I mean, all of these are possible sort of reasons why this could be ultimately different. But I think another interesting question is, if the proto-molecule people, or the proto-people, if you will, if they have been gone for a long period of time, then maybe they wouldn't even really have been able to prepare for whatever their own technology sort of turned into, because,
True.
Things
It's developing
change
over time, and it's adapting as it goes along.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, whoever, when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, I'm not sure he ever thought of, hey, I'm going to pull up my phone and open the Twitter app. It's sort of like things change.
Yeah.
Very, very long in the future. Maybe that's what's happened here with this technology.
I'm sure we will get more answers as the season goes on. The Expanse has always been very good at doing that and giving us a little bit at a time until it pulls it all together for us.
Yeah, so I mean, we have at least a good sense of everything that's going on with this technology, but no clear answers. The thing we are pretty clear on at the moment, though, is that Mercury's a bad man. Mercury's a bad dude, and, just trying to get a sense of this guy. At first it felt like he just wanted some element of vengeance on New Terra over what happened to the ship, and, him trying to blame the Belters who were there. It just almost feels now, though, like this guy's just a straight-up sociopath, and he has takes some sort of joy in destroying other people's lives.
Yeah, and I mean, I know he's kind of spying on them, and he's figuring out that they're trying to come up with some sort of way to get back at them, some sort of mutiny against them and all that, and he's gotta... I guess he feels he has to take the first shot to...
Yeah.
Quiet this down, to be like, we're not having it. I'm gonna take you guys out before you try to take out my people. But I'm sure part of it is just he, like Amos had said before, that he's kind of got this bloodlust.
Yeah.
That shooting people makes him excited. He enjoys it. It's part of who this guy is.
I think the other important thing, too, is just that, when you give a guy like this power, it's sort of like there's no checks and balances, and you've basically sent him to the Wild West now, where there's no real governing body to stop him. And really, this just sort of makes me wonder, who died and made this guy king anyway? Who decided, in whatever decision-making was going on before New Terra and these people went there, that he was the right person to lead them?
Well, it is kind of the Wild West, so he decided for himself, and really, who's gonna stop him?
I guess so.
Because it feels like a lot of the other people that came there with this team are there to learn and to help and to figure things out. So he really is there at this point for a very different reason.
This is who was Mercury had to have a boss once upon a time, right? Maybe back, many years ago, somebody should have written a negative performance report about this guy, and maybe it would have kept all of this from happening.
Maybe.
In the first place.
Probably not.
Yeah, but here we are. This guy is wreaking havoc. I mean, Amos, you should have just went ahead and done what you talked about doing in that scene with him, where you just made it clear that, hey, now's a good time for us to have a lot of blood between us.
Absolutely. If he had just taken care of it, though, we wouldn't have all this delicious storyline.
I know, it's true, but...
It's always great to have these really fun foils for our team.
I will say that I was down on the Amos storyline in episode 2. I feel like this gets me closer to my promised land again. We have Amos punching people. We have Amos threatening people. This is the Amos Burton that I watched The Expanse for at this point.
And I love that he is still very much himself, where, oh, I need this thing, so I'm just going to take it. And if you need to get punched or you need to get pushed on the ground, I don't see what the problem is. I need a thing. You have this thing. I'm going to take this thing. See you later.
You do you, Amos. Yeah. This is what we love you for.
Yes.
Unfortunately for Naomi, like, Naomi is clearly the person among the Rossi crew who's having the worst time right now, and that says a lot given what happened to Holden, but still.
Yeah, and hearing just that other people have had this problem and they're all dead now doesn't sound promising, and I don't want to say that we're going to lose Naomi, because I can't even wrap my head around something like that, but I don't know how she gets out of this type of situation except to leave.
I just also wonder, it's like, you guys have come up with a lot of impressive technology. You have come up with a way to sort of heal bones that are broken incredibly fast. There's got to be someone who has the capacity of making a cure. If only Shed was here to try. I'm joking.
Okay. Shed.
See, I have to, like, bring up Shed at least once every, like, 4 or 5 episodes. You will not be forgotten in these videos, but,
maybe we'll have Proto Shed.
Yeah, Proto Shed's head is gonna just float into the show and it'll be like, I've got the cure, guys. But no, I'm worried about Naomi significantly at this point. It's kind of hard not to be.
Yeah, the thing that I'm actually finding the strangest about that storyline is just after everything that her and Holden went through with the lying and the making of decisions without talking to each other and stuff like that, I'm really surprised that she's keeping this from him. Yeah. They don't really need any more discord between them, but like I understand the idea that you don't want to worry somebody and you want to just keep it private, and people do that. But this is not a situation where she can do that. She's in a completely new territory, a new planet. She's never been through this before. He can help her through it. Why not just let him know what's going on? Maybe it won't be just worry from him. It'll be help from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just... It's a TV trope that I'm not fond of, because I see it a lot on a number of shows where you have people suddenly keep secrets from other people. And I understand emotionally why Naomi's doing this. I still don't want her to do it for a long period of time, because I think it's sort of just, it's viewing things in a misguided way, where I think Holden could help her, or at least could try to help her.
Well, I also just feel that they've already gone through this, where she's kept a big secret from him. It took them so long to be able to move past it and move back into where they are.
Yeah.
That I just don't understand why this is the better option. Why is this the best option? I understand she doesn't want to worry him, but is this a better option than going through, like, just telling him and getting him having a little bit of worry is better than what you just went through? Now you're holding another giant secret that could kill you. Like, how pissed is he gonna be?
He's not going to be happy, and it's like...
So why roll the dice with that? And then on top of it, Alex knows, so then there's going to be that. Now he's going to be pissed at Alex because Alex didn't say anything. Like, this doesn't need to be a secret. And you're right, this is a TV trope we've seen before, and it's not one I'm really that fond of either.
Well, let's go to something that I think we might be a little bit more fond of in general, and that is the Christian election storyline, which... If this was just season 4 in itself, Christian running for office and trying to keep her position as Secretary General, I would be all in on that. Like, give me the Christian Avasarala debate. Give me, just do a season of Veep, just starring Christian in the Julie Louis-Dreyfus role, and I will be really, really happy. But I feel like this is going to be fun. I mean, we've got Christian, we've got sort of her opponent.
Yeah, Nancy, that we don't really know a lot about yet. We saw just that one little scene where she's handing in her resignation. And Christian's like, bye, get on with it. We'll have this fight on the floor. And I'm interested to see this fight. So far, I haven't seen much of Nancy, so I don't know that she can really handle Christian. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of opponent she's really going to be.
The only thing we seem to know, and this is sort of the typical political thing that doesn't seem to change no matter what year you're in, is, okay, let's dig up a lot of dirt on the opponent. Oh, did Nancy Gao get her training in an unfair way?
Yep.
Let's try to expose that. But I also feel like, I don't know if going into underhanded tricks is the right move to make, because I feel like Christian doesn't just have skeletons in her closet. She probably has a boneyard in her closet.
Yeah, she does, but she's been very smart to hide her dirty hands.
I hope that's the case, because I'm pretty worried that stuff is going to come back to bite Christian in a really big way here.
It's possible, and it's probable, but at the same time, she's always been able to kind of turn the tables. So I feel like she's going to come out of this okay. At the same time, there's a part of me that doesn't want her to stay in this position. I liked her being a couple rungs down on this pole here, where she's behind the scenes manipulating everybody and not necessarily in the position of power.
Yeah.
But in the position of power, if that makes sense. She's not the figurehead, but she's running the show. And I enjoyed that a bit more than I enjoy her just being in power.
It's sort of like she's best almost as the hand of the king, to use like a Game of Thrones reference.
Yes.
And it's sort of like, and I've compared her to Littlefinger before, and I understand she's a million times more likable than Littlefinger is. But it's sort of like, if you have Littlefinger on the Iron Throne, hypothetically, that's probably not as interesting as Littlefinger, like, scheming behind the scenes in the shadows.
That's right, like a Varys, whispering secrets and moving pieces around.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would be all right with Christian kind of going in a different direction. I think that could be fun, depending, of course, on who Nancy Gao is. But warning, we're about to spoil Breaking Bad coming up in the next couple of minutes. So if you're several years behind on your TV watching, here is your warning. Why is Bobby's nephew Jesse Pinkman from the end of Breaking Bad? I mean, what, they got this guy like working on some sort of drugs and like imprisonment. Are we going to have a movie after The Expanse that's going to be just about this nephew?
Yep.
I mean, that's probably my favorite thing about this storyline, which honestly, I don't really love this story that much beyond this, but I love comparing it to Breaking Bad. So
absolutely, and it pains me to say it, but that's about the only thing I'm really enjoying about this storyline. I understand the idea of keeping Bobby on Mars. It makes sense. It's our way to continue to see what's going on Mars and opening that door, keeping that door open for us. But watching her apartment hunting and watching her have to deal with her nephew who's in this drug trade and getting kidnapped, and then watching Bobby do something that's illegal or helping people commit crimes feels weird. I've gone from seeing her be like this rah-rah Martian, Marine and all that, to being more open to her worldviews and stuff like that, to now kind of, I don't know, she's not committing crimes, but she's helping people commit crimes. And I understand why. This is her family. Yeah. People do stuff for their family, and they will cross all kinds of lines to save their family. It just wasn't where I really wanted to watch Bobby go. I've become really invested in her, and I don't want to see her going down this road. I want to see her pick up the phone and call Christian and be like, yo, can you send a burner ship over here to pick me and my nephew up? We'll happily come and work for you. Get us out of here. Like, yeah, she can't go to the cops, but she has people who are higher than the cops that she can do something with. Call in that favor. Yeah, just put your pride aside. Don't commit crimes.
Here's my fear. If this storyline stays this way, Bobby is helping other people commit crimes. She's going to be very desperate. She doesn't seem to be respected by a lot of people. I don't know ultimately in the long term what the financial situation is. And I know I'm going to sound silly here for a moment, but just bear with me. She's going to start going downhill. Then she's going to start getting into crime herself, because she's going to start finding this is the only real way for her to get ahead. Then she's going to end up working with her nephew. And yes, I don't think we're going to get to the level where at the end of The Expanse, Bobby is like, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing it because I like it. She's not going full Walter White. But
I am the danger.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she literally is actually the danger, though. So I think that would really apply. But I don't need to see her break bad, because
I hope not.
Yeah, I've already come to like Bobby too much to have it be that direction. I'm okay if you want to send her down kind of a dark path for a couple of episodes. Like, I'll be frustrated in the moment, but if it leads to some redemption or it leads to something really cool in the second half of it, then I will kind of retroactively embrace it, because we reserve the right to change opinions later.
Absolutely.
So, with that in mind, I would be okay if it goes that road. But I don't want to see, like, you know, her at the end of this season just, like, murdering people on Mars and, like, cackling and, like, you know,
I agree.
You know, doing the Huel, like, fall down on the pile of money sort of thing.
Yeah, I just feel that she has other options.
Yeah.
She has a great friend in a very high place. So
Yeah.
she doesn't need to go down this path. So that last scene where she's riding the tube with this crooked detective, like, she doesn't need to be there.
No. So, Bobby, if you need help, we're here for you. I understand that all of season 4 has already come out at the time you're watching this, and I don't think we can do anything, but...
No, we don't have a bat phone to Christian ourselves to help her.
No, we
Send the burner ship.
Send a burner. Okay, yeah, let the burner ship happen. And anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is our take on the Expanse Season 4, Episode 3. We will have Season 4 up pretty much at the same exact time, because we're posting all these first ones that we have screeners for immediately. But we hope you check that out. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking out the link in the description to the Carter Matt store. And we'll see you here next time